How's it going? So, as you can tell from my last video, I didn't make it up the hill to the tower, which allows me to see over Georgia. Reason for that is the gate that originally blocks off, that allows you onto the trail that leads up to the mountain, which is 3 miles. As you saw, or as I explained in my last video, was blocked off. So, and people were already walking the trail and said that it was still accessible. Even law enforcement said it was still accessible. The road was just closed. So decided to hike the trail to get to the top, and made it past the 3 miles to where the parking area is. For the last half a mile, or it's an additional half a mile to the actual tower. So started to walk up the trail, or the last half mile, and I started feeling slightly dizzy a little bit, but not really. I felt dehydrated, and I just felt that sense of panic come over me. I've never explained this before. Really? I suffer from panic attacks. I haven't been medically diagnosed, but my father knew what it was based on my first panic attack, which he and my lady took me to the ER because I believed I was dying at 5 in the morning and it was raining. So I started to feel that, and I knew that part of it was because I didn't have enough water. I had 2 bottles and drank those on the first 3 miles up to the mountain, and then when I reached the last half mile, I was out of water, and I knew that my body was going to need some. So I knew that I was relatively dehydrated. To what degree I don't know, but I know it was pretty. I knew I was in need of fluids. So sat down, and then I called her via FaceTime, and she told me that she knew that I was starting to freak out, so she tried to keep me calm. And by that point, I was literally 0.3 miles from reaching the tower, and I couldn't reach it. I walked back down the hill, and I noticed that my anxiety was starting to grow relatively rapid. So I dropped my book bag and my helmet to the ground and walked to there was a little rest area / shack, of course, but they're closed due to COVID, so no one's operating them. And they shut off the water fountains there as well. So I knew I was in need of fluids. So saw this family on the other side of the parking lot, waved them down, asked them if they had anything to drink, to which the husband went to go check, and one of his sons didn't finish the fluids, or his Gatorade, so he gave it to me to have, and my mouth became a little less dry, although I could still feel my body freaking out, and it's just starting, and it's growing, and it's growing, and at this point I feel like my body is shutting down again. And I start to panic more, and at this point I'm still on FaceTime with my lady. She can't calm me down. I call EMS, or I call 911, tell them where I am. And of course, with the gate being locked, they had to find someone a first responder who's relatively within distance of the area to unlock the gate, which is going to take some time. So they decided they were going to, I think they were walking up or down the trail, I can't remember, but I thanked him for everything that he could do. Of course, I'm still kind of fearful because I'm by myself relatively, although I get my lady back on the phone, but the reception is so bad, I have no signal. So I get signal, call her, then lose it. So in the midst of that, I call, back the dispatch, and they're saying they're getting someone on the way. And by this point, I'm in full-fledged panic attack. I can't settle down. My heart is beating fast. I'm thinking it's irregular, and my only thought was, I'm really gonna die on top of this mountain, and I'm supposed to go to San Antonio tomorrow to lay my cousin to rest, who passed away. And I tried to do everything I could just to stay calm and just, remember that I'm in control. But the reality of it was, I wasn't. I wasn't in control. I was lost. Saw a group of teens, I don't want to say teens, late teens, maybe early 20s, and walked to them as best as I could. Mind you, my stuff is still on the trail a little bit up the way, and asked them if they had anything to drink. I couldn't, at this point, I'm sitting down because I'm scared that if I keep walking, my body's just gonna say, yo, we don't have anything left, we're done. So sit down, asked them if they had anything, tell them my scenario, and one of the guys had another Gatorade bottle that was halfway, drank that, and then they helped me up to the little map area that displayed the entire area. So there was some shade behind it. So they sat me down behind there, spoke to me, just asking me questions, or I asked them questions, and they basically just said they would stay until, someone showed up. Even though I told them EMS, I had already called EMS, and they were going to be on the way soon. It was just a matter of trying to get someone there, and they knew it was going to take some minutes. So yeah, they stayed with me the entire time. The young woman who was with them, she checked my pulse several times. I asked her to which she said my heart was beating, fast. It wasn't as fast as when I first asked her, but she noticed that I still needed to calm down a little bit, and just trying to coach me through some things. And mind you, my lady has told me this numerous times, as far as trying to stay in control, because she knows what it does to me, and she really emphasizes it. But because she wasn't there, it was difficult to do it. Even though it should be easy, it wasn't. So I have some more fluids in me. It feels like my heartbeat is settling down a little bit more. And then finally, EMS shows up, explained my story, and they asked me if I wanted to go to the hospital. And at this point, I'm able to produce saliva in my mouth. My nerves have settled down tremendously, not all the way, but I'm relatively back in control. And I said no, due to the fact that I knew it was expensive. I didn't feel that I was no longer out of control, or feel like I'm about to die right there on the spot. So I did ask them if they could give me a ride back down to my bike, since they had to pass it literally just to get here. And they said, unfortunately, due to law, if I get in their car, if I get in the EMS, I can't go to my bike. I have to go straight to the hospital. It's their policy. To which I understood. To which he offered the alternative that a sheriff can come up, and if everything checks out, he can give you a ride down to your vehicle. To which they called the sheriff, and I asked them if they could stay with me, and they said they were going to regardless. So I asked them a few questions just to settle my nerves. Sheriff pulled up eventually, made sure that I was okay, and then of course they got to do the inspection to make sure that your license and everything like that is legit, so you're not a fugitive or anything like that. So that doesn't bother me in the slightest. Everything checked out, so he gave me a courtesy ride. That was the term I was thinking of. Gave me a courtesy ride down to my car, to which we talked about sports, just life in general, military, And of course, with everything going on as far as the whole George Floyd situation, and just what we, thought about it. And we were both kind of in the same agreement, it's just trying to find a solution between civilians and law enforcement. And he definitely, appreciated the fact that me and him could speak and it wasn't, awkward, or it wasn't, or felt like there was tension in the air. We were both kind of in agreement, we have to find a solution between us. Otherwise, it's only going to create more hostility. I mean, but I'm sidetracking. I'm sorry. But so gave me a ride back down. Of course, he didn't have any fluids either, but I'm well enough to, make it to a store. I don't feel, dizzy or exhausted, and thanked him for his services, and got on my bike and made it to the gas station, put some more fluids in me, and then now I'm here. So it's I'm definitely appreciative of being alive, despite my mannerisms and processes.
You're an idiot.
Despite my thinking, I'm happy to be alive and home. And for those who see this video and also have panic attacks, just know I completely empathize with you fully. I know what type of battle that is, especially those who have it on a consistent basis. When I first started having mine, it was, relatively consistent. But nothing was as bad as that very first time. I was so scared that I was going to die, and there was nothing that could stop it. This panic attack rivaled it, if not beat it. And that is haunting. And it hurts to know that when you think you're even in control of yourself, you're not. And you would think that something as simple as understanding, okay, yes, I am dehydrated. It's not ideal to be out in the sun, and I knew that. But I know I had 2 water bottles going up, and I was okay. And now I feel like this is it. My body can't take anymore. But I just want to say, thank you to everyone who assisted me. I wish I could, personally reach out to them, even though I thanked them at least 20 times every single time. And they, they always said thank you, or they always said you're welcome and no problem and stuff like that. But they really helped me calm down when the situation could have been much worse. So I know they'll probably never see this video, but I just want to say thank you to the man with his wife and 2 kids who gave me the first batch of Gatorade, and gave me some trail mix as well just to eat, but due to it dried my mouth instantly and I freaked out again. But thank you to you guys, although you may never see this. Thank you to the 4 young adults who gave me Gatorade and stayed with me to calm me down. Thank you to the 2 EMS guys who stayed with me until the sheriff showed up and knew that, if things went to worse, they would have assisted me. So thank you to those 2 gentlemen. I wish I could name your names. You deserve it 10 times over. And also to the sheriff who gave me a ride down, and we were able to have a mutual conversation and appreciate the words that we said to each other. Thank you. I wish I could name your name as well. You may never see this, but thank you. And of course to to the lovely missus who is going to chew my ass out when she gets home, because I know this is upsetting her, and you know how I am, you know, eating habits and stuff like that, and trying to stay in control. And you know, I know it takes a toll on her as well. You know, I owe you everything under the sun. But if that doesn't work, you're still in my life insurance, so you're be taken care of. So, I just want to say thank you to everyone who sees this, and just know that if you suffer from anything mentally, know that I do understand. And I wish you the most speedy recovery and assistance throughout your entire lives until you pass on to the next. And hopefully that's not until you're really, really old and have enjoyed your life and the company around you. So once again, this is your boy, Mr. Knightmare himself. And I will see you in the next video to hunt your minds, because we are your nightmare. All right, see you guys.